Hello, this is Preppypluto. Here's another one of my videos of the playthrough of the Outer Worlds. I'm finally making my way to Groundbreaker. Let the games begin.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Good. I've been waiting to hear from him.
There you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
I've been feeling a little lightheaded. Also, I can slow down time.
Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help us find chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a Navkey to land on Stellar Bay.
Why do I need a Navkey to land on a planet?
Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a Navkey as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating Navkeys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly.
Fine. I'll go have a word with Gladys.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthrone a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
You want to explain what a holographic shroud is?
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits, first-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
You mentioned this thing has limitations.
Only stands up to casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path, you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram.
Why do I need a gadget for this? Couldn't I just steal a uniform or something?
A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy cereal? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise? The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
How the hell does a hologram sweeten your breath?
Science, that's how.
People will actually fall for this? Seems far-fetched.
The beauty is they don't expect it. The shroud is the only one of its kind. We humans have a tendency to overlook the unexpected. Activate the disguise, walk past someone. What do they see? A figure dressed like a fellow employee. Don't act out. They won't focus on you.
First obtained during the Passage to Anywhere mission, the unique holographic tool can be found in the captain's quarters, which is located on the second floor of the Unreliable. The holographic shroud does not require you to press any buttons in order for it to activate. As long as you have the correct ID cartridge, the holographic shroud will automatically disguise you as soon as you enter one of the restricted areas. Once the holographic shroud is activated, you will have a short period of time to navigate through the area undetected. It is worth noting, the more you move, the quicker that your disguise wears off. You can track your ID's charge by watching the purple bar at the bottom of the screen. Should you become undisguised while inside a restricted area, simply wait for a guard to find you and talk your way out of the dialogue test. During this time, your ID cartridge should have enough time to recharge. The Holographic Shroud is arguably one of the most essential tools that all players should be utilizing it to its full potential. Ultimately though, due to the ID cartridges often being hard to come by, many players have simply overlooked this rather powerful tool. I'll put it to good use. Thanks.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Got it.
Arrived at the Groundbreaker.
Can we talk? Hey, Captain. I heard the Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson.
What about her?
I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing this by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
Sure, we could head over to engineering now.
Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
Did you learn your trade from your father? It sounded like it when you talked to Reed.
Mostly, yeah. I lived in the maintenance office near all my life. Mr. Thompson never let me forget how funny that was.
Reed seemed to have it in for you.
I'm not exactly a model employee. Not like you wanted. The kind that stays quiet and gets the right work done in the right order every day. It's not normal for anyone to do as their parents. You take a vocational test. That decides your schooling and your career. When I tested out for maintenance, everyone figured it was on account of my dad. They were real unhappy with us.
One aptitude test determines your whole life?
They're powerful good tests. They rattled off this whole list of names you'd worked on, with fancy bits hanging off them. Doctors, and esquires, and the thirds. Even if you don't believe they actually catch what everybody's best at, everybody's got to take them. So at least it's fair-ish.
Why would people be unhappy about you getting a maintenance job?
Because they were hoping their own kid would get the job and get sent back to Edgewater. When folk go away for schooling, they don't get back to where they began. Not usually. You go straight to your first job, wherever the company's got an opening.
You don't have any say in it at all?
I reckon you could say, no thanks, I don't want a job. But then you don't got a job.
But you actually are good at this, and you enjoy it.
I'm good at making things work the way they ought. Not so much at doing such to somebody else's schedule. There's times I'm working deep in the guts of a loader, getting it all running perfect. Then I look up, see it's tomorrow, and I've blown another deadline. Anyhow, I was happy to get back home. I didn't care much for schooling.
You didn't like your classes?
There were a whole lot of reading, not nearly enough doing. Like, before they'd issue you a wrench, they wanted an essay on the design of different wrenches. Then there'd be quizzes on company regulations for storage and maintenance of wrenches.
What did you do in your time off?
As soon as I got permission, I spent all my time in the machine shop. They had all manner of parts, but they didn't want to use them, so I had to sneak them sometimes. I even slept in there. Had a hammock tied up in the rafters. Before I left, I installed a little skylight for myself, so I could see the stars.
They never caught you? You never got in trouble?
Teachers came through now and again looking for slackers or contraband, but I was always working. They liked that. Otherwise, I tried not to call attention to myself. Just stay quiet in a corner and I'll get overlooked. When my roommates tried to talk, I'd get so nervous I'd be drenched in sweat. It was easier for everybody when I stayed off on my own. I doubt any of them remember me now.
After school, you moved straight back to Edgewater?
Yep, nothing much changed. Everything was a little grayer, a little dirtier. Dad met me at the shuttle and gave me a big old hug. I noticed straight away that he was moving slower and stiffer. He made a little grunt when I squeezed.
Did you get much time with him after you got back from school?
About a year. I tried to do more of the work so he could rest. His heart gave him pains. Dad never said that he loved me, you know? I knew on account of him showing me how he'd stay up late to help with my projects, listen to my fretting. Oh gosh. Look at the time. Sorry to bend your ear so long. And I got so much to do before this ship's in decent shape.
Break time's over.
Tell me, do the seasons change? In your mind coming in with the rain. Tell me, does it feel like home? Let it in, let it go on now. Pull it close to give it up somehow. Tell me, do you stay the same? If you could just see me now, would you believe it?
The unreliable message terminal. Authorized log and sequence recognized. Welcome, Captain. Messages for Alex Hawthrone. Viewing messages for user Hawthrone A, please select the following option. Hawthorne's unread messages. Unread message list from U. Bedford. Subject, thank you. Oh, I forgot to mention in my previous message, silly me, I'm mailing you a copy of my favorite serial, The Space Adventures of Singularity Steel. It's about a dashing space pirate with a heart of, well, steel. It's not exactly board approved, so don't you go showing it around to your spacer buddies. I hope it will amuse you while you're out adventuring. Any similarities to a certain someone are entirely intentional. Wink wink. Return to root. Messages for Alex Hawthrone. Hawthorne's archive messages. Oh wow, there's a lot from this Bedford guy. From Bedford. Subject. Thank you. Dearest Alex, I can't tell you how pleased I am to finally hear from you. Your message was hilarious. I'm delighted by your sense of humor and the tale of your hijinks. I hope your terminal will cooperate for the foreseeable future. By the by, I was scraping Groundbreaker's comms network for tasty little tidbits, and I noticed you declined to dock at Edgewater's landing pad and instead touched down in the wilderness. You rugged individualist, you. I only pray that idiot Thompson wasn't giving you any trouble. Anyway, I hope your meeting down on Terra 2 proves fruitful, and I look forward to corresponding with greater regularity. Your best friend, Udom. Subject. Hello. I don't know where you were raised, but I'm hazard to guess it may have been a barn, because anyone with even a modicum of decent rearing would know it's unforgivably rude to ignore the ardent, sincere messages of one's friends. Best, Udom. Subject. Checking in. Dear Alec, hello. Hope this finds you well. It was a pleasure to see you in my office again last week. Once again, I'm terribly sorry about the impounding mix-up. How could it have happened a second time? Terminals these days, I swear. Dreadfully unreliable. Just like your ship. I hope you've given some thought to that thing we discussed. You know, about the Wells fellow. I'm so sorry to press, but I have the strangest tinkling feeling that you really do know him. And if you could just tell me where he is, well, it would be marvelous for our friendship, wouldn't it? Looking forward to seeing you again, Wingman. Your dear friend, Udom. Subject. A pleasure. Dear Alex. Hello. Udom here. Udom Bedford. We met when I accidentally impounded your ship. My silly fat fingers embarrassing me once again. I hope that wasn't too terribly inconvenient for you. It was such a pleasure for me, and I tremendously appreciate your forbearance in not throttling me. You really are quite the gentleman. If you're ever in Groundbreaker's airspace, well, space, please don't hesitate to look me up. The Lost Hope serves Spectrum vodka. Perhaps we could try every color. You know, really tie one on. Let me know. Your new friend, Udom. Hawthorne's sent messages. To you, Bedford. Subject. No subject. Look, there's no call for shouting. My terminal was busted, had a few too many, and might have knocked it off the desk. You know how it is. Sometimes you just gotta cut loose. I'm not telling you where Wells is, so lay on. Buy me a drink at the Lost Hope next time I'm in, and I might forgive you. A8. Log entry number 1, titled Shrink Ray. Captain's note, SW001, Shrink Ray. Note to self, remember this later. No better. Ada, remind me weekly to check this log until I tell you to stop. Yes, I mean continually. No, Ada, not if I'm dead. Why would you even ask me that? Back to my point, I saw in actuality, with my own 2 eyes, a sublimely powerful weapon in Wells' lab, just sitting there for the taking. If the gray hair were to look away, or forget about it, maybe. Or if I had asked a smidgen more nicely. He called it a shrink ray, but wouldn't let me test that claim after I lost my temper. Said he was inspired to create the thing by the achievements of other scientists who dared to push the boundaries of human knowledge and decency laws. I had heard rumors of fantastical weapons like this one, weapons that push the boundaries of the mind, and science's cutting edge, but I figured they were just stories, to be honest. Laying eyes on Wells' shrink ray firsthand is enough to make a fella wonder if there's more to the rumors. More to be had. AH. Log entry number 2, titled Hammer Power. Captain's note, SW002, Hammer Power. Last time I got sloshed, I was imbibing at the Lost Hope on the Groundbreaker. Look, Udom was really free with the drinks. He seems like an okay fellow. I shamelessly but stupidly eavesdropped on the 2 Mardettes yammering on about a mad scientist some years back, who claimed he made a huge discovery that would change the fate of the colony. Like none of us have heard that before. But here's the good part. The Mardettes said the mad scientist kept yelling about the hammer's power, or something similar. A strange weapon with a special power created by a crazy lab coat. Sure fits the bill. It could be another one of those weapons that inspired Wells. AH. Captain's note, SW003, Black Market leads. Why won't Wells just give the shrink ray to me? Blast into the depths of the labyrinth on Tartarus and back. Let the record show. I did apologize for shouting him down 5 times. But architect be damned. It's just sitting there, neglected and gathering dust. Should have commandeered it and thanked him without asking permission, or breaking expensive equipment when he said it wasn't ready yet, and that even if it were, he couldn't entrust it to someone like me. What does that even mean, I ask? That I'm not trustworthy enough? That I'd use it to wipe out the good, hardworking folks of the colony? Like some sort of moralist psycho? I'll admit to maintaining some questionable associations, but I follow a strict code of me, myself, and mine. What's not to respect in that? Exactly. Now I have to wait until Wells forgets or thinks he's misplaced it. In the meanwhile, I have been tracking down additional rumors pertaining to others of these science weapons throughout Halcyon. If gossip holds true, my next step will be to check with the black market merchants on the Groundbreaker and in Fallbrook. This is Sam. There's no response from the automechanical unit. A serial number etched in its chassis includes the letters SAM. Leave the automechanical alone. The Modern Steel Wrench and You. This book is heavily dog-eared with doodles in the margins. The Journal of Maximilian de Soto, Volume 1. The scribblings of these journal pages are utterly illegible to anyone except Vicar Maximilian de Soto. Doctrinal Studies 539 of Equity and Equations. These textbooks have been out of print for almost half a century. The margins are filled with scribbled notes and many passages have been underlined. Some pages have come loose, and the glue now yellowed and cracked along the spines. Tossball trading cards, in mint condition. Most of these cards represent players from the Hephaestus, Hammers, and the Tile Backers. Index of Banned Literature. Part 1, Various Qualifying Considerations. Part 2, Principal Rules of Restricted Management. Part 3, Morals and Maxims of Banning Unethical Literature. Part 4, Proof of the Grand Architect and Predestination, a repudiation of the titles listed here within. Part 5, Consequences, the Mind and the Will of Man when led astray. Part 6, Official List of Banned Titles. Part 7, Prerequisites for Advancing the Investigation, Outing, and Penalizing of Offenders.
Standing in the doorway, I watched as you took off down Main. Felt something like the old days, running the place, so were we running away? Oh, and your sonata, leaning on each other, I could feel the seasons change. Playing our old songs, bittersweet nostalgia, try so hard to stay the same. I will remember you this way. Middle of the night, through the rolling thunder, I feel your light inside my bones. All the rest is right, though you're thirst and hunger.
Cause all you gotta smash like, subscribe, click the links down below so I make a time. Comment, say hi, hit the bell so I know I'll see you next time.